Everybody's gonna learn today. Looks like we gotta get a key from a customer. We got a 2018 Ford Explorer that we did an oil change last week, and as I've discussed, before we do anything to any vehicle, we do a health report. Oh, somebody's bumping. Let's turn that off, turn the air conditioner off, plug in, get an auto read, window down, pop the hood, check the oil. Unfortunately, I had to work in his driveway because Wi-Fi doesn't reach the street, and to scan these newer Fords, you have to have Wi-Fi on your scanner. So, doing the oil change, running this health report, we ran into a grille shutter code. We erased it. It was a current code. Did a quick test bidirectionally to find out that the grille, let's see if you can see this, the grille damper is stuck, closed. I can move it by hand, but commanding it on doesn't work. So I've gone ahead and read the flow chart from Ford. Oops. And essentially they are, oh, he also has a bad radiator cap. We have hoses sucked down. Open the cap, they come right back. We need to get a radiator cap on this. Also, don't get these 1-year batteries. That's acid coming out of this battery that's only, what's the date? I think I saw the date on it. 07 of 20, so it's got 2 years on it. I've already told them to replace it. They usually don't make it this long. Let's go ahead and run a health report. This one's pretty quick. I think Tools Pros, probably a little quicker, and they have the chart that feeds the different networks, high speed, low speed, the L line, and they break it down for you, which is nice. But we've gone through MotoLogic and looked at some quick wiring diagrams, and this motor is not going to be reachable until the bumper comes off. So all testing's going to have the bumper taken off. Checking for powers and grounds. I will check the primary fuse to it first, just so we're not wasting our time pulling the bumper off, and we'll get right back. Alright, I'm going to bring you guys in a little closer. I noticed I couldn't read any of this stuff when I was far away, so there's our grille shutter max min stop performance P051A. That may have been there before. We'll have to look into that, but we're concentrating on this active grille shutter that's stuck closed. It says fuse number 3 is the power supply to it. So we go down the chart. Got 14s of fuse according to this. 1, 2, 3. And using a test light, battery positive. We got no power here, no power here. That may be when it's commanded on. Let's go to special functions, powertrain. That's not it. Let's go to actuation test. Crap, no. Common function. Yes. Switch is on. I want to say the flow chart said it was hot at all times. Not hot here. Of course, the tip of this is burnt off. I'll have to grind that back down. Common function. Special function. Body? Nope. Chassis? Nope. Electrical? Service functions? Nope. That was in here. We're in here. System selection. PCM. Sometimes you just have to go through this thing. It's like a maze. It's a... Oh, I better not run out of battery before I finish this diag. this is hooked up to Wi-Fi far away, this can be kind of slow. There we go. Actuation test. I heard you. I saw the battery's low. I'll get this thing plugged in. Oh, these new cars. Wi-Fi and everything else hooked into them. Grill shutter A, position command. Engine running. Start the truck. We can command it close, command it open. Let me get a pick. Yeah. We have power. My tools tip wasn't sharp enough to get down in there to reach in there, but we did have power. So now we're going after the motor on this actuator, and unfortunately there's no room to slip in there and sneak your way in there. It bumper has to come off to get to the motor. Probably could have gotten to this motor with the bumper on. The motor lies right here. Just take it off so you can do it right. It wasn't too much. Bunch of screws along here on the outside. These three are a nightmare. Come through up here, you can get them with an extension, or you can wrench them either way. Then bolts across here, 3 below, and then the ones on this section as well. And then unclips here, clips underneath from the headlight. And we have access to our whole shutter grill, which you can see is undamaged. Let's get at this motor, check our powers and grounds, do a power command, on and off, double check these numbers, see if they match. They might have superseded them. They do look different, but they do supersede numbers sometimes. Let's open up and see what the side of this one says. Let's see. So we can return it if need be. Everything on the side of this is different. FBZ 10884. We'll go this way. Looks like the fitment's gonna be right. So let's check our powers and grounds. And here at the plug. And go from there. Signal wire is gonna be our small wire. The other two are gonna be our grounds. So we'll grab a pin kit and check the powers and grounds. All right, we got key on. We have the ground and hot pinned, back probed. And we see nothing. So we're gonna have to dig a little further. We're hooked up to battery ground. We're looking for that power supply on this system. I just was in the wiring diagram and I forgot which color, so we're going to check them both. There's nothing on purple, and looks like just purple. Let's check green and white. Got hot on green and white. Let's see if we have ground on purple. Switch our leads to hot, ground. We have a light. Let's check our other wire. Should be light up on ground. Doesn't look like we do. Unless this is the ground. Let's check that. Might be missing a ground. I doubt you can see this right here. We have the grill shutter. Gray. It's positive. That's pin 3. That's what we checked. Black and green is that last pin. Black and green that we were just looking at. Black and green right here. Should be a ground. Let's double check. I got our lead on positive. Light works. This should be a ground, and we do have a ground. Just had a bad pin out. So let's take this motor off, put the new one on, command it, see if it works, and go from there. We found our problem. The grill shutter shaft is sheared off. So this motor is probably good. Let's give it a command. Whew, that grill shutter is expensive too. Let's grab our scan tool. Key is still on. Grill shutter command. See our motor here. Key on, engine running. Let's turn the engine on, make sure everything's out of the way. It's going to give us codes for headlights and everything else. Key is on, engine running. We're going to command it. See if you can see this. Closed. Look, there it's moving. Conditions haven't been met, but it is moving. Tell our customer it needs a whole grill assembly. We were hoping for the best. That whole grill assembly is quite expensive, so we removed our grill and the motor works fine. Shaft broke right there, so no more. Needs a whole assembly, so we'll quote the customer and figure out what they want to do. Alright, old shutter grill. We have our new shutter grill. This bar has to be set aside while you slip it behind the bumper. And once it's through and in place, you can snap it. If you look right in there, you can snap it right in here, just like that. And while you're working on it, they put a pin here to hold it in place, and that's it. And let's hook up the scan tool, check it out before we continue. I think we gotta get the alignment straight away. Oh, where's that it? That might be it. So let's get the scan tool hooked up and activate it, see if it needs any kind of calibration. My health report ran. Yep, parking aid sensors are missing because the bumper's off. Air temperature sensors because the bumper's off. So we shouldn't have to raise them yet to get the shutter to open. So it's going to PCM. I'm sure you guys can see this. Take this off. Trying to rush and get everything done before the rain from leftovers of the hurricane come in tomorrow. Don't want to leave this guy without his car. Actuation test. When we do ABS bleeds and customers happen to be standing around and their ABS pump starts going, the customers have a tendency of freaking out. They're like, "What's that? What are you doing?" Just doing what we have to do to get things fixed correctly. Key on, engine running. Let's go start it up. Alright. Okay. Oh, look. It's open. Command it open. Hit closed. And voila. Close this. Let's add a data stream. Active grill shutter boost mode. Sorry, let's get it down here. Grill shutter position, insert. Don't need all the other grill shutter commands. Commanded 0% open. Commanded 100%. That looks operational. 100%. Commanded open. Closed. We're going to call that a fix. We'll get this bumper back on. We'll give you a quick tutorial of what is involved getting the bumper on. There's a bunch of screws. And once we're going to screw here, here, and there's one, two, I believe three below. One here, and then we'll show a quick tour of how the bumper goes on. Bolted up, plugged in. We're gonna bring the bumper over here. We're gonna hold it up gently. We're gonna plug in the one harness. That's lovely Ford. It'll pop in here. It'll pop in here. And the one tab right here will pop and it'll hold it in place. Then we work and get these 3 bolts through here. It's a nightmare on both sides. There's 3 bolts in the center along the front, and then these side bolts, this clips right back in, just snaps in, and then that's pretty much it for getting this bumper on. So you don't really need a helper with it, but it could help. So let's bring it over there carefully, not to scratch it. Double check, make sure there's nothing behind it we missed. Looks like not. So we're going to gently place this in here so I don't scratch anything. Get it up and over. Alright, so we got a place that'll stay for a second. Reach in here, plug in our harness. It would be easier with a helper. And then secure it to its spot right here. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. All right, let's get in carefully. Snaps in all here. I'll make sure we don't damage any of the paint. Snaps in. Holds it in place. Like I said, 3 bolts here, bunch of bolts across here, and this one will snap in place. Like, that snap might be weak. 3 bolts here, snap this, screws here, snap this in place, and then the bolts along the bottom. We're gonna button that up, double check our grill, clear the codes. This should be a happy customer. And for the last leg, the bumper's on. I got our last few screws in. Alright, now we're going to find our scan tool. We're going to go back to our, see if we can go back to our health report. Yes, we're going to clear all the DTCs. Let's see what we got left. Fault report. Nothing. Fault report. Empty. Alright. So it's going to be key off. Let's start this up. Operate all of our lights and everything that was in the front. Make sure that plug wasn't depinned or anything when we plugged in the bumper. Now we're going to do, Ford has a PCM key on, engine off test that kind of turns on the air, the blower motors, the lights, all the dingers and the dashboard, and it does just a self-check of all the systems. That may work to have it do a self-check on the shutter grill. We've already shown that it works. I'm also going to go through the scan tool, verify there's no calibration needed. It's in the fault code. Key on, engine running, on-demand self-test. I'm only really concerned about our shutter grill, so we're going to run it and see if it works. Engine cooling fans may operate, vehicle stationary. Okay, it's going to rev the engine up, it's going to do a couple other things. There goes the fans. Shutter grill is closed at the moment. There goes the lights. It's checking those. It's gonna turn the air conditioner off and on. I don't see the shutter grill move yet. This usually takes about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm not gonna bore you through sitting here waiting, but I'll keep an eye on it, update, and we'll go from there. So the Explorer grill went without a hitch. Everything cleared out fine. This is why we run a health report before we do any kind of service. People, they get fussy with me about it. They're like, why are you doing that? I don't need that. I'm like, yes you do. There's reasons behind it. So this stuck grill didn't have any overheat issues. There's plenty of room between the grill and the condenser, but the potential's there. Very hot day, that grill's stuck shut. Sit in traffic too long, it's gonna overheat. So I'm glad we caught that. We're going into winter, so it may not have mattered, but it still needs to be addressed. He also has the all-wheel drive Explorer PTOs. The 1/4 fluid needs to get changed every 30,000 miles. If you don't, you're in for a large bill. If you own an Explorer, the Ford Edge, the Lincoln MKZs with the 3.7, all of those have potential to overheat, cook the fluid, and ruin the PTO. And you're looking at $2,000 to $3,000 to replace it versus just changing the fluid once every 30,000 instead of the 100,000 recommended. Like and subscribe, and we'll post our next video tomorrow.